So today we're going to break down a pretty detailed blueprint for a potential U.S. strategy when it comes to Venezuela. Using our source material as a guide, we're going to peel back the layers on this high-stakes scenario, from the official reasons given all the way down to the deep economic and military forces that are really at play here.
The analysis we're digging into kicks off with this sentence. By 5 a.m., the president of Venezuela was gone. It just drops you right into the thick of it, into a covert strike, and it immediately tells you just how serious this is. We're not just talking about theories here. This is a detailed, tactical plan.
Okay, so a raid in the middle of the night, a captured president. That's the what. But the real question, the one we're trying to answer here, is the why. What are the strategic motivations, the layers of justification, the economics, the military planning that could lead to a moment like that? That's really the heart of what we're exploring today.
So to really unpack all this, we're going to look at it in 5 parts. We'll start with the raid itself, then we'll look at the official story, then the deeper economic reasons, the actual military hardware involved, and finally, what this could all mean for the future.
All right, let's start with that high-stakes scenario. The sources actually give this hypothetical operation a name, Operation Southern Spear. And look, this isn't just some vague idea. It's laid out as a very specific surgical strike aimed right at the center of the Venezuelan government. And when you look at the timeline they lay out, it is just brutally efficient. It all kicks off at 1:55 a.m. with airstrikes to sow chaos and take out air defenses. Just 6 minutes later, elite Delta Force operators are already on the ground. And by 3:20 a.m., that's less than an hour and a half from the very start. The mission's over. The speed and the precision here are absolutely central to the whole idea.
Okay, so that's the tactical how. But now we get to the first layer of the why. See, any action this big needs a public-facing reason. So our sources go into detail about the official rationale that would be presented for putting this kind of pressure on Venezuela.
The official reasons given, they really zero in on national security threats. The sources list things like concerns over migration, fighting the drug trade, and taking down the so-called Cartel de los Soles, which is a term for these alleged networks of corrupt Venezuelan officials involved in drug trafficking.
But here's where it gets really interesting. The sources we're looking at highlight a major contradiction. On the one hand, you have the official claim that Venezuela is a primary source of fentanyl coming into the U.S. But on the other hand, a DEA assessment cited in the very same materials says that the drug comes in almost exclusively through Mexico. That discrepancy is a really key point in this whole analysis. And, that discrepancy, it feeds directly into the counterargument. The Maduro government, as quoted in our sources, basically says the war on drugs is just a cover story. The real goal, they claim, isn't about security, it's about getting control of the country's incredible natural wealth. Which, that brings us to our next layer. Let's peel back that next layer. Oil, dollars, and power. Because if you look past the official justifications, the sources dedicate a whole lot of analysis to the powerful economic and geopolitical forces at work. And this is where we get to the massive resources at the center of this whole thing.
And this number, it really just puts the sheer scale of all this into perspective. $18 trillion. That is the minimum estimated value of Venezuela's proven oil reserves, the biggest on the entire planet. A number that big isn't just about money, it's about global power.
But it's not just about the oil itself. It's about how that oil is tied into the entire global financial system. The sources explain what's called the petrodollar system. It's basically this long-standing deal where oil is bought and sold around the world using U.S. dollars. This creates a constant, massive demand for the dollar, and that's a huge pillar of American economic strength. The thing is, though, that system is now facing some serious challenges. You've got the BRICS nations building their own financial systems, you've got major oil deals happening in the Chinese yuan, and here's the crucial part. Venezuela has been getting closer and closer with the exact countries leading this charge: China, Russia, and Iran. According to this analysis, any serious threat to the petrodollar is seen as a major threat to global economic stability.
All right, so given everything that's on the table, what does the actual military plan look like? What kind of hardware would you need for an operation like this? Well, the sources give a pretty surprising amount of detail on the military assets being moved into the region.
Well, it all starts with positioning. The analysis points to the U.S. reactivating old Cold War bases like the Roosevelt Naval Station. They're basically dusting off these once dormant facilities and turning them into forward operating bases, which puts some serious military power just minutes away from Venezuela.
The sources describe the naval strategy as a kind of 3-step kill chain. First step, blind the enemy. A ship like the USS Jason Dunham uses its tech to jam all of Venezuela's communications and radar. Second step, create a shield. The USS Stockdale sets up a missile defense umbrella to protect the whole fleet. And the third step, get boots on the ground, with an amphibious assault ship like the USS Iwo Jima launching Marines ashore.
Then you look to the sky, and the sources point to this huge technology gap. Now, Venezuela has some capable Russian-made jets and air defense systems, but the US F-35 is a whole different beast. Its stealth capabilities let it act as a door kicker. It can fly in totally undetected, take out those air defenses, and basically clear a safe highway in the sky for everyone else to follow. It's a massive, game-changing advantage.
Okay, so we've looked at the raid, the official story, the money, the military hardware. Let's put all the pieces together. What, according to this analysis, is the ultimate goal here? What does the future of Venezuela look like? And this quote, it's presented in the analysis as a really critical piece of the puzzle, because it spells out a potential endgame. It's from Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, and she's very clear: a transparent, massive privatization program that is waiting for you. This really connects all that big-picture geopolitical stuff to a very concrete economic vision for the country.
Which leaves us right back where we started, but with a much clearer picture. What's really driving all of this? Is it about drugs, like the official story says? Is it about democracy? Or is it about dollars, and who gets to control the biggest pile of oil reserves on the planet, especially as the global economy is changing so fast? With trillions of dollars on the line, the answer to that question is going to be the one that writes Venezuela's next chapter.